Maxie Taylor, founder and CEO of Goodieboxx, where our ethos is the corner store plus convenience evolved. We set out to change the consumer experience through the lens of vending by marrying the features of online shopping with the gratifications of traditional retail. And while living in an apartment community centrally located here in Dallas, I drew inspiration from the difficulties of getting these necessities back into my unit. At the time, I was doing a unique limbo between my front door, my trunk, and the parking garage, and going about my daily routine, leaving the fitness center, checking the mail, I thought, and stumbled across a traditional vending machine littered with cobwebs, full of outdated product. And I thought, how could I repurpose the space for something functional for not only the residents and property managers alike? At the time, grocery and food delivery apps were in their infancy stage, and my immediate proximity consisted of food swamps, food deserts, with only options available corner stores and fast food places. This led to the creation of Goodieboxx. Goodieboxx is your personal convenience pantry that places the everyday essentials and necessities closest to your front door. We utilize a combination of native iOS and Android software paired with a retail kiosk that utilizes robotic hardware and movable shelf space to create a unique and uncomparable retail experience in the marketplace today. How it works, you're able to download your iOS or Android application, sign in and sign up, register your home location. We utilize a monthly or annual subscription that allows you to browse those products in real time, add those to cart. It generates an order code that allows for a effortless checkout experience. Our top selling items today have been bathroom tissue, feminine hygiene products, antibacterial soap, shelf-stable beverages and snacks, and an assortment of other miscellaneous electronics and goods. Our pre-pandemic success and traction included 15 Texas locations. That led us to a 1.25 million annual recurring revenue year in 2018, followed by a 1.5 million ARR in 2019. We were seeing about a $55 average monthly spend and a $16 average transaction ticket. During the pandemic, we had to postpone 2 of our expansion locations in the Austin area, as well as reduce some ancillary staff that helps us with our replenishment and stocking. It gave us some time to strengthen our partnerships with our supply chain as we saw some gaps and inconsistencies in the products. So we wanted to be intentional about that. We were already working on a stealth project, our Goodieboxx 2.0. So our post-pandemic response was to speed up that development. And in our analysis, we saw that 3 out of 6 of the top delivery apps create what is called a services gap. They either intentionally or unknowingly leave out a third of the most vulnerable populations, minimizing their access to these everyday essentials and necessities. So we wanted to be intentional by making sure that the African-American population and Latinos in a pandemic situation can get access to those necessities. We utilize a partnership that puts our best practices, which is the Goodieboxx retailing pod, on top of a level 4 autonomous chassis that would create a unboundless retail experience that could be outside of our standalone retail experience. We're looking to strengthen and disrupt a $275 billion automated retail sector. Our competition, brief snapshot, we are the only flagship and second generation technology hardware platform that utilizes a modular and defensible business model in proven pandemic conditions. Have a dynamic team, including roughly 10 to 14 years of retail asset management and product development experience across a myriad of industries. We're looking to take the 100,000 today to help us well along our seed round, getting us to the milestone of 50 locations in 10 cities. I'd like to open the floor up for any questions that you may have for me regarding Goodieboxx. Thank you.
All right, it looks like, thanks, Maxie. Good to see you. Looks like we've got the first question also from Deborah again.
Okay, 1 second.
Thank you for your presentation. I have a question about your back office for us. What kind of staffing do you have to make sure the good boxes are filled?
Can I ask you to repeat that question? I believe you went out just as the inception of the question.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, great. I was curious to understand what your back office operations look like from a staffing perspective. Can you walk us through how you get the items into the box and your staffing, the frequency of filling it up, all that kind of stuff?
That's a pretty colored question. I'll try to answer it as best way as possible. So we utilize a warehousing capacity. So we buy wholesale, sell retail essentially. We're able to index the appropriate products. We utilize our sourcing and staffing ancillary support staff to stock and replenish those stores. Our back-end management software looks sort of like a remote management access. We're able to look at products in live real time. So for instance, if 5 Hour Energy drink has 10 products in the lane, we're able to see when it gets down to 5. We generate a notification that says we need to send support staff out to replenish that. Hopefully that answered and gave a little bit of color as far as how we go about that process. But if something I didn't cover, would you maybe just reiterate the question a little more?
Right. So when you're at your 15 locations, what will your head count look like?
15 total. We had a total of 25 support staff that helped us to stock, staff, and replenishment accordingly.
And they do ordering also?
No, we have a purchasing partner. So between myself and my CMO, we do all the direct purchasing. And we just allocate it accordingly to be put in our stores.
Okay. And how much above, say, like a grocery store or Walmart is your premium on your?
We are roughly in the sweet spot of what you would see at Walgreens and CVS. We try to price down just a small amount just to enforce the emphasis of convenience. So we're roughly in the drugstore sweet spot. But our different sauce is that we create a different size product mix. So a toilet tissue pack that you may get in Walgreens may be 4. So we have a larger assortment of products that we put in our store.
Okay, thank you.
All right, looks like we've got time for a question. It looks like Preston James has a question. Preston, would you like to share your question with Maxie?
Yeah, Maxie, great presentation there. Very quickly, can you, in terms of the post-pandemic Goodieboxx 2.0, can you provide some insight? I may have missed it. Provide some insight with regards to the cost and the revenue you would need to be generating to ensure profitability per box.
Sure. Our 2.0 will be a introduction and pilot that we'll be launching this quarter. So to maybe back up and explain both situations, our standalone or our flagship model takes an average of 3 to 6 months to reach profitability. And our partnership with the level 4 autonomous chassis, being that we're building the pod and our partner is building the chassis, it's a direct partnership that allows us to revenue share. So essentially, we're taking our best practices of averaging roughly about $66,000 to $70,000 per location in our box, putting it on a chassis just to extend our footprint and quadruple our profits. So it's just a direct revenue share that allows us to continue our best practice with creating a modular design.
Okay, thank you.